Hey guys, welcome back to the Sunday Night Show, also known as Drinking in the Dark with Frugal Tiger. You know what? From now on, I'm gonna skip the drinking in the dark. As you guys now know, I can no longer drink in the dark. I'm gonna talk about kind of the same tickers. The action's probably still focused around the same names, you guys. It might be like that for a little bit of time. I'm gonna throw in a few new ones as well. If it's a stock that I've talked about heavily before, I'm gonna skip it, like NEO and Plug. There's still a lot of action in NEO and Plug. Just mention it, that's all I'm gonna say about it. Tesla, I just mentioned it last week, the week before. That's because of Elon Musk and other funds dumping, as well as other people kind of viewing their selling as an opportunity, we kind of see this back and forth with Tesla. And I think action's gonna be there for a while till it figures out direction. But even still, with that constant buying and selling pressure on Tesla, we still see action. We still see tons of opportunity to day trade this name. Lucid is another big one. I think this one merits a little bit more talking than the other names, and it's just because we had a huge sell-off on Lucid. They're having an investigation by the SEC. This happened last Monday where the first announcement occurred. I actually had, it wasn't a huge position. It was like 300 shares of Lucid where I bought a little bit of the dip. And I managed to get out at a pretty good price, actually. I think I bought it at like 47 and I sold it at a loss at 46. And I'm very grateful for that because it just bled out further and I got several points in on the shorts with a larger size. There's going to be a lot of action here on Lucid. We'll see if the sell-off gets bought. I had a swing trade in the a day trade in the positive direction as well on Friday. I think this is a name that really should be on your radar, continuous focus. I think you can trade it both ways. And as I mentioned, I feel like the overall long-term direction of the tape action when it was around 56, there's heavy resistance. It felt very space-like to me. If you guys recall, I mentioned it in my Sunday videos before 2-3 weeks back where I'm not saying it's gonna follow the direction of space, but it had that feeling of space stock. If you recall the charts of space stock, we had these two massive spikes around $60 a share followed by massive sell-offs down to 16. I don't know if this is gonna sell off too much more. We'll see, but it definitely can. It definitely can. I don't know if it's gonna sell off too much more just because EV is hot right now. There's a potential that people are going to view this as a buying opportunity. There's not a clear-cut explanation of what the SEC is investigating. If you guys recall, I never talked about buying Nikola based on their SEC investigation of fraud. That's a huge freaking deal. Nikola is like a completely different boat. And there were rumors spreading around for a long time that Nikola doesn't do anything that they claim to do. Just be cognizant of that with Lucid, that could be a possibility. We don't know what's happening with the SEC investigation. All we know right now, it's causing volatility. I'm probably not going to hold anything overnight. And if I buy this, like I said, I'm going to be out of it. Within a very short period of time. Remember my trades, I did a trading video recently, and just kind of follow what I mentioned there. When you see it's an obvious time to buy the spike or the level 2's kind of just rising nonstop, maybe take a small position in Lucid if you're not feeling confident, or the opposite's also true. If you feel like it's going to go down for the day, this thing can get ridden down real hard. I don't think that sounded dirty. This thing can throw down real hard. So so definitely Lucid has to be on your watch list. Couple other things. I know people have been in the AMC buy the dip mentality. I mentioned this last week. I mentioned this weeks back that if AMC breaks below 32 and it doesn't fight back, I think I mentioned this 2 months ago, the trade might be dead. And we saw this past week, AMC was struggling to recover even though the market more or less completely recovered. The S&P volatility might go down the next few weeks. I still think S&P futures could be a great active trade. But I think the volatility might go down into the Christmas rally. We're going to see what happens there. But the funny thing is, despite the S&P rallying, AMC did not really recover. A lot of you guys know that AMC was a very good trade where if you just let it drop for a few days, if you buy it, shorts are covering at these high prices because they might view it as their only opportunity to get out or whatever. So constantly created that dynamic of, okay, it's gonna drop, but then you can buy it. Even though it's really not been going anywhere in the long term. It's just been a slow and steady bleed downward, So we're gonna see if it now just cracks under pressure or if we can recover that 32 mark. That's a key mark. 27 is another support. And honestly, I'm really worried what could happen if it doesn't hold, you know, the 25 to 26 area. You could see a death drop in this. So just be cognizant. You know, I know there's still potentially a lot of shorts that have yet to cover. No one truly knows the statistics on this right now. Next, I want to talk about GME. GME is having some action after earnings. You know, it had a pretty bouncy tape on Friday. A good opportunity to take a trade here on GME. You know, I would probably pay attention to it as kind of like your back burner tickers. That's why I have so many charts typically running. I have actually visuals during my trading day on probably 36 charts between all the monitors that I have behind me and in front of me that you guys can't see. So benefits of a standing desk. Okay, anyway, I want to talk about a couple of different things right now very quickly before we go into earnings. ISIG, that thing is moving like crazy. I think this week alone it went from like $5 a share to $20 a share. It is a penny stock. I would keep my you know, eyes on. Honestly, I have a feeling this is going to get a bleed out this week. We'll see. It's up like 213% in the past 5 days. From like $5 a share to about $20.70 a share. We're gonna see if this can continue to run higher. This has been a tricky one to trade, to be honest with you. Even though you know the direction's higher, it's kind of funky to trade. It's hard to explain, but I definitely keep an eye on it. Maybe see if you guys can get are able to short this name or whatever. But obviously, if the tape moves against you, you know, cover the shit immediately. You never know with these short squeezes what the fuck could actually end up happening. So make sure you're in a position to cover immediately. Don't do it with insane volumes of capital, as always, guys. Okay. ISIG is probably going to be this upcoming week's LGVN, ISPC, that kind of a trade. So I would still watch ISIG. You guys recall this past week I did a trading video where I located shorts on hard to borrow stocks and shorted them. I might be looking at this one for that. I might actually even write it higher. All I know is tons of action on this. Same, similar concept to why I trade Lucid, okay? This is a little bit different. AVGO, Broadcom, I mentioned last week it had earnings. It crushed. It's higher. I would definitely be following the tape action on AVGO. Watch this. We can have a continuous breakout here. I personally am probably not going to take the short side unless the market cracks under extreme selling pressure, but AVGO needs to be watched on your calendar. On your screen, not your calendar. Okay, DWAC, it seems like it's having renewed action on DWAC. I trade this stock, but it is super spready. You're looking at 40-cent differences between bids and asks, which is huge. It's not 1 cent like you see in most stocks, right? You can see some huge differences between bids and asks. Be cognizant when you trade it. DWAC has the potential for another squeeze higher, as it had its squeeze, then dropped. It seems like it's trying for another attempt, but that doesn't always work out because we've seen Tilray have multiple failed attempts to rally off of an initial rally. We've seen Palantir Space do this multiple times. Just keep it on your radar. If the trade goes against you, take it off really fast, okay? DWAC, I would be watching this. The other names that I want to talk about, Twitter has been bottoming. I feel like I don't think the trade is ready yet to be bought. It dropped from like $66 to 44. I think with the news of Jack Dorsey leaving as the company's CEO, there is a potential it bottoms here, but that doesn't necessarily mean the trade is ready yet. I don't like to buy things till it's ready to move, okay? I would just keep this on your radar in case it is ready to move right now. And speaking of which, lastly, I want to talk about BABA, which is another Chinese ADR. Take a look at BABA's chart. It has been bleeding out now for years. Now, part of it is because Jack Ma, I saw this interview between him and Elon Musk, and I'm pretty sure shareholders started dumping BABA stock after they saw this interview, where Jack Ma was just completely out of it. Like, he was just saying shit that, like, I couldn't believe would come out of a CEO's mouth. Like, it was just bizarre, like, out of this world, like, yeah, I mean, he was either drunk or high or something. I don't know. But anyway, I would watch BABA. I am personally, if you take a look, Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, they're actually buying BABA here. And for that reason, I probably will be buying a little bit of BABA, but I'm not buying the stock directly. You know, I know you guys think I'm paranoid about these Chinese EDRs. Potentially you wake up and China says, oh, these ADRs are worthless or some shit like that. But I think this is a possibility, you guys. So if I'm buying BABA stock, I'm gonna be buying it as an investment. I'm gonna be looking at it much more through leaps, trading this through leaps than buying BABA directly. I realize if I buy a BABA leap 2 years out, it'll cost me about $26 to buy the BABA leap 2 years out, where the strike price is near its current market price. That way I get exposure to the fact that Alibaba has had a massive sell-off, bleed out for the last 2 years, but I lower my risk of total capital loss if China does some fucked up shit. All right, moving along. Okay, I rambled too much about trades that I still think are gonna be on, as well as maybe BABA is not the most appropriate thing to talk about. BABA and Twitter are not the most appropriate thing to talk about my Sunday videos, but it might, if you're looking for a little bit of a longer term horizon, BABA might be a good one to enter. Twitter, I would still not trade this stock without the price action pointing upwards, but pay attention to that. That could happen relatively soon. So we're in Santa Claus rally mode, it seems. Not too much on the earnings calendar. I'm just gonna go right into the only names I'm watching. Nothing Monday, nothing Tuesday. Earnings on Wednesday, I'm watching IRNT. We had huge price action with IRNT earlier. It's kind of been off my radar now for a while, but now with Wednesday's earnings, I'm hoping we see some price action on IRNT. Thursday, we have Kronos, marijuana play. Adobe is usually a pretty good one to trade. ADBO. ADBE, my bad. Kronos, ticker symbol CRON. Accenture, ACN, and FedEx, FDX. Earnings wise, I'm going to stay with IRNT, Kronos, and Adobe. And overall, my top names I'm watching are ISIG. Lucid is a must, honestly. I feel like Tesla, you should probably keep in your top 4 or 5. And I'm probably gonna keep AMC. We're running right into holiday season next week, and we might see muted price action in regards to overall tradability, like if you're like a day trader like me. But that could actually be made up with a straight grind up on a lot of names within the S&P. We'll see. Anyway, best of luck. Let's not blow ourselves up here, and I'll see you all next week. Frugal tip of the day: if you have house guests over, make sure they don't steal your hats when they leave, because these ungrateful swines, I save them tons of money on the hotels on the strip, and this is how they repay me, by taking my hats. I just want the money.